It's student time. We are doing a lot of student turnovers, and for that I just want to run through all the practical stuff, because some of what I want to do with you guys is kind of just take away, oh, how does this whole thing work? So I'm in one of my student properties. As you can tell, it's right in the middle of being turned over. Not turned over that way, but you know what I mean. Should we go into the kitchen? It's quite nice. And the students have moved out, which is great. And actually, they haven't done a bad job. There are some things, but they really haven't done too bad a job at all. So let's chat from the kitchen, shall we? With their French windows. First, you can see the garden. I really like gardening, but I do not leave beautiful gardens for tenants because by and large, they don't look after them. So we just put in that kind of a membrane, and then we put in the stones, and it just means it's super easy for them to give you a clear garden again. And these guys haven't been bad at all. In fact, I'm pretty impressed with them. Then team go through. So in this case, what have they done? They've left some cereals, they've left some food in the freezer, the washing machine, can you see? You know, stuff that is just not nice if you move into a property. And they've left stuff in the understair cupboard, which is inevitable. We always use Henry Hoovers. I think Henry Hoovers would be still alive in a nuclear explosion. They're just like Hoovers that just last forever. Inevitably, students never change the bag in the Henry Hoover, so we've always got spares. So that bag goes out into the bin, and we change the filters. Or if we haven't got filters, then we dust the filters off and get rid of all the dust. Repaint where necessary. So really small things like they've put their pans up there, but then it's been really marked with black. What else has happened in this one? Weeding the garden. So they've done a not bad job, but they moved out a while ago and the garden is needing weeded. Oh, this one's annoying. Oh, not annoying, but they always leave rubbish in the rubbish bins. But of course, what happens is if they leave early, these guys moved out a while ago, so then they don't put the bins out. So then what you can't have, because it's just not fair, is the new students moving in. So these tenants technically moved out at 10 o'clock this morning, new students are moving in tomorrow at 4 o'clock. You can't turn around to new students and go, right, so you're moving in, so you're probably chucking some rubbish out, and those bins are completely full of 3-week-old rubbish. So because of the pandemic and recycling centres, you now need to have a booking system. So you need to double or triple bag the rubbish, take it out, or phone a rubbish collection company, which we'll probably do instead. But if we were to do it ourselves, well, not me, I'm not going to do it, but then it would go to a recycling centre. So what we're really doing is we're not doing the cleaning. We've got Patricia booked with her team that are going to do the cleaning tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock. We are just making sure everything is clean, clear, tidy, without and rubbish is thrown out, because your cleaning team aren't necessarily going to throw out rubbish. I think, and a broken chair. Oh, bless. And the student emailed in and went, oh, yeah, just, over where? Like the chair's 2 years old and it's cracked completely. So a nip to IKEA. And then finally, mattress protectors. So I know this is kind of a technical and hopefully not super dull, but nonetheless not super sexy video, but it's useful for you guys just to see. Oh, and then for me, this is the most important. These guys and gals are somebody's son and daughter. So although we have fire certificates every 3 years, we do gas certificates once a year, and we do electric certificates every 5 years, or in check-in, check-out, I also get my guys to change the batteries, even if the batteries are okay, once a year in the carbon monoxide alarm and also in the smoke alarms. They're somebody's kids. And then finally, we check that all of the safety routes. So we do not give our tenants the keys to lock the windows from the inside, so they can put the handle down and it's locked, but they can't double lock it, because inevitably they lose the keys and they've locked themselves in, and then that cuts off their fire escape route. But we just always check that all windows can open, because that is basically your fire escape route if the house goes on fire. And we check for, have we got all of the signage, fire exit this way, HMO certificate, in contact details, etc., etc. So just to recap, We are chucking out all the crap. We're chucking out the crap from the bin because inevitably they leave bins. I think actually we'll get somebody around to pick that up later on today. We are replacing any broken furniture. We've only got one chair in this property, so that's not too bad. We are repainting when necessary. Health and safety, we're replacing all the batteries, whether they need it or not. It's once a year, job done. And we are mattress protectors, putting mattress protectors, which inevitably go missing with the students, back onto mattresses to protect the mattresses for a longer life. But we're not messing around. So these students technically moved out at 10 o'clock in the morning. The inventory clerk came at 10 o'clock this morning. The cleaner is booked for tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. And in the meantime, and the new students move in tomorrow, 4 p.m. And what does that mean? It means that it's a bit hectic because I've got quite a lot of student properties and it all happens in July and August. But it also means that I don't need to pick up any of the bills in the meantime, which is less about am I paying like a few quid, but more about loads of paperwork. So technically, I don't need to write to anybody to say people have moved out, people have moved in, because they're all legally responsible for the bills. But actually, in reality, what I do is write to the gas, the electricity, the council tax and the water people and say, here are the students who've moved out, here's their forwarding address, here are the students who've moved in. So there you go, student changeover. And this property, what did I buy it for? Bought, I'm sure, for 300. It was a single skin kitchen, so we basically knocked down and rebuilt this, and we thought, we'll put in nice French windows. We've got bathrooms in almost every property, which is in every room, which is really nice. It was last year 2,750. Students were in here for 2 years. This year we had people bidding against each other, and the rent is 3,100. So that's not bad, is it? Over £36,000 a year rent, 37,200 as far as I can make the maths. But I want it to be nice. I want it to be really good for them. And it is bought for 300. It's probably worth between 450 and 500 now, and I've had it for probably 8 years. So there you go. 37 grand rent, bought for 300, now 450 to 500. 16-hour turnaround, new students move in. Job done. I don't do tenant find, I don't do inventory, I don't do the cleaning, I don't do the check-in, the check-out, but I do just pop in just to make sure everything's okay. There we are. Hope that's really useful to you.
You know the drill. Like and subscribe.